it's not just Credit Suisse's Neelkant Mishra, but a host of other brokerages have also given a thumbs up to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's maiden budget. Pankaj is standing by to join in with all the details. Pankaj, who are these brokerages and what exactly are they saying?
So, a couple of more that we can highlight in terms of what market participants are saying. Mahesh Nandurkar of CLSA says that budget has provided a much-needed positive signal for the markets in terms of the several measures that they have taken to attract foreign capital. They see commitment towards affordable housing, which according to them is good because it will lead to a lot of employment creation. Bond yields continue to trend downwards, and that's something which the markets will start to take a note of. However, the outlook seems to be better and brighter after this budget, is what Mahesh Nandurkar says. On the other hand, you have Gautam Chachoria of UBS, who says that the fiscal maths is looking slightly optimistic, and they believe that spending quality has worsened in this budget. However, they see a downside risk to the GDP number that they have, which is 6.9%, which they are looking at for FY20. Onus now shifts to monetary policy to support on the growth front. So they'll closely be eyeing out what RBI does in the next couple of policy meetings. Do they give a stimulus as far as growth goes? Rhythm Desai of Morgan Stanley says that the fiscal target of 3.3 looks achievable. Addressing growth via the recap of bank PSU is one of the key things that they like in this budget. Overall, they are addressing the near-term growth challenges in terms of budget. The sort of ways that they have taken budget is both positive for bonds and equities, as bonds cool off. Equity markets sooner or later will take note of that.
Okay, Pankaj, thanks for getting us those details. Let's get across to Ruchi now. My colleague, she has some exclusive details about the government's roadmap for divestment for the current fiscal, which is FY20. Ruchi, tell us, what are you picking up?
So we're given to understand that as a part of the over 1 lakh crore target that has been set out for FY20, that is 1,05,000 crore rupees, the government has a very ambitious roadmap. In fact, ET now has accessed the blueprint for the same. We're given to understand that the government is very keen on raking in almost close to 40,000 crore rupees via various ETFs. A financial sector ETF is also under works, and apart from that, the government is going to come out with one more offering of the CPSE ETF as well as the Bharat 22 ETF. Besides that, a 5% stake sale in big ticket companies like ONGC as well as Coal India is something that's on the block. We're also given to understand a 10% stake sale in insurance companies, that is GIC as well as New India Assurance, could help the government rake in close to 6 to 7,000 crore rupees. The government is also betting on getting about 7,000 crore rupees from dividends of various PSUs. Apart from that, as I told you, about 30,000 crore rupees could be raked in from strategic stake sale. The government will come out with the expression of interest for various strategic stake sales over the next few weeks. Pawan Hans is something that's on the block, so the government is hoping to get some money coming in from strategic stake sale as well. Also, we're given to understand that for certain PSUs, a long list of the land assets that they hold is also something that's on the block. Besides that, about 15,000 crore rupees is what the government is expecting if they go ahead and get successful bidders by selling Air India and their subsidiaries as well. So a long list that's already been readied by the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Of course, needs to be seen when and how will they go ahead and tap the markets. They will, of course, have to look at the market condition as well and the investor interest in various companies.
Since you're here, just want to get in your perspective and the insights that you're picking up on the FDI as well in in the whole host of sectors. What is the FDI blueprint exactly looking like, and what are your sources telling you?
So this is a story that we've exclusively picked up from very high officials in the government. We're given to understand that even as Nirmala Sitharaman announced various big ticket FDI reforms in her budget, ET now has been able to access the blueprint for the same. We're given to understand that the government is open to really opening the floodgates of foreign direct investment in various sectors. We're given to understand that the government may allow 26% FDI under approval approval route for uploading of news and current affairs through digital media. So FDI and digital media is something that the government is looking at. 26% for uploading of news through digital media, and 49% FDI for, of course, streaming of news and current affairs through digital media. Currently, the policy allows only 49% FDI in TV channels and 26% in print media. So digital media is something that will get a big push by the Modi government. We're also given to understand insurance is another big sector where the government is looking at opening the floodgates of foreign direct investment. The current policy allows only 49% FDI in the insurance sector, where the Modi government now is going to allow 74% FDI in insurance through approval route. That means 49% through automatic route, and beyond that through approval route of the government. Any investor can take their stake up to 74%. The government is also looking at FDI in information utilities. There is no such provision for FDI in information utilities so far. Here the government is talking about 100% FDI in information utilities with government approval beyond 49%. The government is also open to easing the rules for contract manufacturing as well, to attract more foreign direct investment. And here we are talking about easier rules in what is going to be a big change in the government's foreign direct investment policy. We're given to understand the government is now actively looking at easing the restrictions for single brand retail as well. We're given to understand that now any company that wants to invest in India through single brand retail, there will be no restrictions on having a physical brick or mortar store as well. Currently, this was a major issue when it comes to big companies like Apple to invest in India. We're also given to understand that local sourcing, the local sourcing criteria, the 30% local sourcing criteria will also be eased significantly. And if global sourcing is done by related parties, that will also be taken into account when it comes to those sourcing criteria are concerned. So these are going to be big ticket changes that we're talking about. The government now open to really getting in more foreign investment into the country.
Okay, Ruchi, thanks much for getting us those exclusive details and helping us understand what exactly the FDI blueprint is likely to be when it comes to this fiscal's budget.